Welcome everyone back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. As you see, we have something really cool here. We have another crossover banner coming to the game. So we're going to talk about this. I'm going to probably answer all the questions you guys have, hopefully anyway. If you do have any others that I don't answer throughout the video, so listen through. If I don't answer it, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'm sure another one of you guys would be able to help each other out, or I can get to it myself. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about this. So first thing I want to go ahead and say off the very beginning, is that we don't know specifically date and time because we haven't gotten a data download. If it's coming out soon, we'll have this probably Tuesday night because typically data downloads do come out about Tuesday night, things of that nature. But it's probably coming out really soon because there's no like real banner. I mean, like, I don't want to call the Goku LR featured banner not a real banner, but I mean, there's nothing really there, right? There's no Dokkan Fest. There's none of that. This is a filler banner. It just seems like we're going to transition into some filler stuff throughout the next month and to hold us over, before we get into, Thanksgiving and then into the holiday season as well. So that being said, don't know exactly when as far as this image is concerned. If anything else comes out, I'll let you guys know. But I do believe it says November there, which, I mean, is a given because the month's over in a couple of days. So anyways, that being said, next thing I want to answer is this coming to global? Here is my answer to that. I want to go ahead and take you guys on a small journey here, right? Long story short, maybe not so short. We have had Dragon Ball Heroes crossover banners before. This one came out a couple of years ago. I believe it even came back a second time. And this is our crossover banner from last year. So it seems like we typically get one every year. So we are now getting this year's version of this crossover between this game and Dokkan Battle. Now, the reason why, long story short, we haven't gotten any of this stuff on global is because they do not have any interest right now in marketing Heroes as an entity outside of Japan. For example, figurines that are marketed as Heroes figurines in Japan, when they get localized, their name changes, their branding changes. It's the exact same figure, but it will say Dragon Ball Super on it instead, right? Because that's the way that they market things. So that being said, there was the arcade machines. There was talk about that. Apparently that has died down and that'll probably not be happening. We will probably not be getting those localized machines. There was talk about that. They had the English one at one of the conventions this year, things of that nature. That has pretty much died down from what I've heard. Now, there's also the possibility that we get the Switch game that was announced. Who knows? But until we get some sort of localization, I'm just going to give you guys a fat no, this is not coming to global. Because, I mean, this stuff is, this banner in particular has been in global's files for forever. Legit. And never came. And again, last year's iteration, these are all good units, man. Like, these are good units that you would want to pick up, particularly the Super Saiyan 3s, because they're very powerful. And then Toa is really good, too. The others have fallen on a bit of hard times because they need to awaken. But nonetheless, maybe they awaken this time through. Who knows? So, yeah. Now what I want to go ahead and talk about is the characters that are actually in this image. We're not getting no Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, though. So, or Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. You know the thing about Heroes is, it's weird. It's kind of like they don't want to give us everything because they could legitimately drop, I don't know what. Like, if they really wanted to be money hungry, they could just be like, yo, we're going to pull Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, all these other things, Cumber, whatever, man. They could pull what they wanted from new hero stuff, like the promo anime thing they're doing every few weeks or whatever, or super old stuff, like, where's Few at? We don't got one of those in the game, right? There's a lot that they can pull, but alas, we're getting this. And I'm hyped for this. This is cool. So we are adding on a couple more Super Saiyan 3s. Thing to note is that these characters, again, assuming all these characters in this image, by the way, are actually characters we can get and not just here for promo. There are a couple of Super Saiyan 3s. They would have different names from the pre-existing Goku and Vegetas. They'd be Zeno. So that being said, having that on there allows for them to be on the teams as well. Hopefully they're very good. If we go off of the previous Super Saiyan 3s, they will be. Because those units were really good for their own reasons, right? So that being said, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the characters that were in this image. The only one I need to learn a little bit more about is that Kai chick in the bottom corner. So I got to go back and check up on her, and I didn't really know how to dig her up right now, dig her resources up right now, but we'll figure that out later on. Anyways, So we're going to go ahead and start from the middle. Of course, we have the Goku and the Vegeta. Just going to point out that this is all going to be, for the most part, on Dragon Ball Wiki. I'm not going to really go into a breakdown of them, but I just wanted to give you guys a reference and show you guys an image. Dragon Ball Wiki isn't typically where I go for my sources. I would typically recommend going somewhere like Kanzenshu, but I hear that they're pretty good here. So we have Vegeta and Goku, Zeno. Now, on the far left right here, this character right here, closest to Goku, is obviously Vegeta, right? Or is it? But nonetheless, he goes by the name of Black Mass Saiyan in the Dragon Ball Super card game. And the cool thing about this is how you know Bandai's planning this too. Of course, English versus Japan, like it doesn't really matter. It's all Bandai. But they're releasing hero stuff in the Dragon Ball Super card game right now, going into next month. And there's a lot of like this type of stuff, Zeno, Goku, yada yada. So this character's name, again, goes by Black Mass Saiyan. He could have been called that in other stuff, but alas, that's what they call him. That being said, there's that character. On the far left, in the red hood, King Vegeta. Yeah, it is King Vegeta. Zeno King Vegeta, apparently. So he's been taken over, man. He's an evil guy, and he's behind the mask this time. So they got a whole squadron of them, bro. You guys got to check up on it. They got a whole squadron. But nonetheless, look at that freaking Deborah. On the far right, the top one, the white blue one, that is Demigra or Demigra. That is one of his variations. So that guy is able to do several different transformations without getting into how or why between his iteration from Heroes and Xenoverse and things of that nature. So keep that in mind. Below we have Mira, and a lot of what I just said applying to Demigra applies to Mira as well, because Mira has different forms that he accesses depending on the media, and then in Heroes, I believe he accesses both anyway. But this one, for all intents and purposes, is Super Mira, where he is utilizing Saiyan cells, if I recall correctly, and he is now Super Saiyan. So, again, could be incorrect about that last little couple of lines there, if I recall correctly. It's been a while since I've looked up Super Mira. But that being said, the characters on the right are interesting because, well, we have a couple of characters in the game that are from Dragon Ball Xenoverse. And, you know, well, they didn't awaken. So really the question is, are we going to awaken those characters? And my answer to that would be probably not. The reason being is, you know, these characters would be ones that would not be in the general pool. What I wanted to do here really quick was pull up those units. I kind of just don't know where to even start, so I'm not even going to bother. But they're not units that would be in the general pool, and I don't know if they would want to do that. Because if you start awakening units like that, all it does is further separate this game from the other game, because we get in a position where it's like, oh, well, are they going to awaken on global? You know, things like that. So you have to consider that and be cognizant of that. So I think these would just be outright brand new units. I do 100% believe that those other units, though, should awaken. I'm talking about the Supreme Kai of Time, the Demigra, the Xenoverse Trunks did actually do it. You know, the AGL one, I think he's the one that he came out with. And then we have the Toa and the Mira, and we also do have the new Toa nonetheless. But hopefully, though, but I will say that there is hope that these characters awaken. Reason being is because when this banner initially came out, this Gotenks did not awaken. So he wound up awakening later on, actually. I believe in between that banner and this the other banner that we just had up here, he awakened into Super Saiyan 3 because they dropped the 120 lead Gotenks and they allowed him to awaken from those medals, if I recall correctly. I'm pretty sure that's how that broke down. Yeah, they did. So when the 120 lead Gotenks came out, it allowed for him to awaken from there too. They just dropped the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks teen on that banner, or in that event. But these are not units that you can get normally, okay? I hope everybody understands that, which is why I said that, you know, these units might awaken, but they're not going to be, you know, older awakenings of like the Xenoverse units, in my opinion, because they're not units that you can always get or things of that nature. So maybe they try to break the mold, who knows? But at the very least, this banner will be a cool opportunity to get some new characters, maybe even some of these older characters if you didn't have them and you were looking forward to one or two of them or a few of them, whatever. from one of these previous rare summons. So anyways, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you are excited, let me know in the comments down below. I myself am very, very excited for this. Again, it does say, I believe it comes out in November, so stay tuned for that. We don't know what all is coming. We are going to get in a weird position in the game where we're going to be looking at celebrations and stuff a little bit more, being towards the end of the year, holiday season. So now's a good time to try to resist the temptation. So have an awesome day, everybody. Take it easy.